Welcome to Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today we'll be unboxing Ark Nova, designed by Matthias Wig and published by Fearland Spiel. This is definitely the hotness right now, and I'm excited to see what's in it. I have heard some comparisons made between this and Terraforming Mars, and I think that's largely due to that it has a relatively small board presence, but a pretty significant card element. Relatively complex, not terribly so, but definitely not a beginner game. Components are chunky, effective, not the most aesthetically pleasing, but you have little busts to count as meeples, you have some cylinders, you have some cubes, standard stuff here. Here, the crux of any heavy Euro game is how complex is the rulebook, and this is not a terribly long rulebook. It's about 20, but for this kind of game that's pretty standard. But it is definitely looking a little wordy. Okay, we got a glossary to clarify some rules and clarify some cards. That's it in itself is rather long. And iconography, wow, that's a lot. But it's pretty self-explanatory, so shouldn't be too bad. Just, once again, not something I necessarily would think of introducing to a new gamer, just by the looks of this, but it definitely looks like something I might like. These player boards kind of look like Castles of Burgundy with a tapestry color scheme, but I doubt the affiliation goes anywhere beyond that. Punch boards are good thickness, they look like decent quality, they do punch out nicely, cleanly, easily. That is to be expected nowadays. I rarely see any problems with punch boards anymore. There's a fair number of components here. They're decent size, so they should be easy to handle and difficult to misplace. So let's get to the core of this game, which is the cards. There's quite a lot of cards here. It looks like each card is unique. I would prefer generally art over pictures, although I can see why they went with the pictures because it would save a lot of money in having so many different unique cards. That's a lot of art you would have to commission. Like everything in this game, the graphic design for these cards is very functional, not the most aesthetically pleasing design, but it is very easy to read. Iconography could be a little better, but it's looks pretty straightforward. It looks like it'll be easy to figure out once I start playing the game. One thing that does get me excited about this game is it does seem to have that old school Euro mentality where function is super important. So the gameplay is the center of everything, and making it as functional and fun as possible is the center of all the elements. Art is a secondary thing, which, yes, it's nice for when things look nice, but it is not, to me at least, essential to make a great game. That's not to say this is an unattractive game. It is pleasant enough, but it definitely makes an effort not to let the aesthetics get in the way of understanding and play. Or at least that's my first impressions upon looking at and unboxing this game. Won't know for sure if that's true until I've actually played through the game, but I do feel strongly that that might be the case. Definitely a lot of cards, and so far it does seem that every card is 100% unique. So that's 128 animal cards in total. So let's move on to the sponsor cards. I do see some repetition here, but I don't really mind it too much in these type of cards. Since the animal cards are the core of the games, that's where I really like to see the uniqueness. Next we have conservation projects. I suspect these are essentially goal cards, end game scoring objectives. Finally, we have scoring cards, which it's nice to see some art on here. It would be easy to just simply have text on a scoring card. And finally, we have the game board. It does look like it's largely just like a play space to lay out the cards and some scoring, but there's definitely a fair amount going on beyond that. I'm not sure. I'll have to play it to find out. Inserts are always nice. This looks like a decent quality insert, but that's all the elements of Art Novum. Definitely a game I'm excited to get to the table as soon as possible. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that gave you a nice glimpse of what's inside of Art Novum. Please join us again, and don't forget to like and subscribe.